everyone. Let me introduce everyone else who is at the table, and let me say again, thanks to Maya Northfleet for that piece right there. Okay, so Laura is still at the table with us. Daisha Tankin-Smith, college student, UMSL. A little bit more of a connection to our conversation tonight. We'll get into that for just one second. Keisha Mabry, Director of Innovation at College Bound, and Shauna Cunningham, Manager, High School to College Center. Shauna, I'll start with you. We heard transportation was in that conversation we just had. What are the challenges that create this summer melt?
So some of the challenges are financial aid. The financial plan's not coming together. Another big challenge is not having all the paperwork completed in order to enroll in the college of their choice. And oftentimes students don't know about the financial aid package and how that will look until they get into the summer months. I'm also a high school counselor, and right now many of my students haven't received their financial aid packages.
That information is not ready for them
That's right.
to access.
Right.
So the summer comes and they don't have the network as we discussed.
That's right. So it's always our hope that they have maybe a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. But some students don't, and as Laura alluded to, some students don't have a solid post-secondary plan. And it's summertime, all of a sudden they realize maybe their friends are going off to college, or the college that was their dream school. It's just not going to work out for them financially. So they often will come to us and say, what can you do to help?
What can you do to help?
So there's a lot of things. It depends. Every single situation is different. The majority of students that come in talk about financial aid and what can be done, and is the school that they're looking at, is it affordable? Another thing, sometimes students come in and they have not applied anywhere. So we've been really fortunate to have higher ed, representatives from higher ed come in and work with the students and say, you know what, it's not too late to apply to school. And we engage in those conversations. We're all experienced counselors in the center, and we engage and say, what is it that you want? What do you want to do next, and how can we help you get there?
And am I right that I've read that the counselors can make a very measurable, a very significant difference with not that much time invested?
That's right. Just, you know, a few hours over the summer, I think it's 3 to 5, is that right? Just having that additional attention can make a huge difference whether or not a student enrolls in college or not. Sometimes the things that they need to just finalize are very simple, and with some time invested and some guidance, they can get that done.
Keisha, there's an app for that, it sounds like.
There's an app for everything.
Tell us, okay, do I have it right? Is it Bridget? Tell me what College Bound is doing with this app.
Most definitely. It's Bridget to College, but we call it Bridget. Basically, Bridget was developed in 2013 with the help of the Michael and Susan Dell Foundation. So College Bound is trying to figure out a better way to help more kids with this transition to mitigate summer melt. And so basically Bridget was born. And we took a lot of interventions that are already out in the field. A lot of those interventions center around helping counselors help students, so building out dashboards so that counselors can get a really quick idea of where students are in the college enrollment process. We also built in some checklists, some resource guides, and also text messaging. So when you think about text, we send about 6 billion texts every day in the U.S.
I do personally, yes.
Right, exactly. I'm sure all of us have received a text during this show, right? And so when you think about text is really important in helping mitigate summer melt, because text has a 98% open rate versus a 20% open rate for email. And not to mention, a lot of students don't even have to have data plans to text. They just have to have access to Wi-Fi, and they can receive those texts, respond, and get help with their college transition.
We saw some of Bridget on the screen there. That might seem intimidating to some folks, but for the people we're talking about, is that a place where they feel even more comfortable interacting and asking for help?
Most definitely, because how it works in the center, a student just comes in off the street. As soon as they come in, they're greeted by a near peer, and then from there they get a Bridget account. And so it's really simple from there. They sit down at a computer, they complete a 10-minute college enrollment survey, and so that survey gives the counselors a really quick snapshot of where the students are in the enrollment process. And that's how students are easily able to get counseling, because really quickly, without knowing any background information on that student, the counselor, whether it's high school or higher ed, at the center that day can instantly look at the student's Bridget account and see where they are to see what helps they need and help them from there.
What is a near peer, Daisha? She put you on the spot there.
Well, a near peer is someone who is closer to the high school graduate's age, and someone that they might be able to relate to a bit more. Shauna and I,
Keisha and I are nice, but we can't relate to us as
I'm kind of near. I'm kind of no. Not anymore.
I'm rethinking our guest list there. I don't know. Continue. I'm sorry.
It's fine. So basically, I graduated in May 2013, so just to know someone was once in their shoes, and it's much more relatable and approachable if you see someone who done what you're doing and that can tell a story like, yes, there is light at the end of the tunnel and that you will survive it. Then it's more of a I can do it too type of
Who told you there was light at the end of the tunnel? Was there,
Laura, Shauna, Keisha,
so
everybody.
you walked into the center yourself.
I did. The summer of 2013, I was lost. I didn't know if I would be able to go to college. Originally, I was attending Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, and that didn't go through, so I had to rethink. My guidance counselor, Shannon Julian, she invited me to the center, and I met Laura, and that was all she wrote. So.
Before you found the center, was that stressful?
It was. I was in this illusion that, oh, I'll get to college and it wouldn't be hard, and it didn't have this tedious process, which I now know that it did. And I'm just grateful that I came in contact with the center, because some people don't know that there are resources here, and it can make a difference. It can be detrimental or it can be beneficial.
It's a sentiment we have heard actually throughout the week.